We are so back. What is good, guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are talking about The Amazing Shit Circus Episode 4, The Mastermind. I think I speak for everyone when I say this is probably the best episode of the show so far. It's visually pleasing, it's voice acted really well, courtesy of the new voice actors, and it's really fun. But it does have a very confusing ending, which I will talk about at the end. So sit back and relax as we enjoy The Amazing Digital Circus Episode 4. So the episode starts with the characters waking up and doing their daily routine.
Dang it. There we go. Perfect. Oh, no.
It kind of reminds me of Tweeny's Live. So once everyone gets together, Kane says an announcement before the adventure begins. He notices that Pomni, Ragatha, Zubul, and Gangle all sound masculine because Noah can't do very good impressions of female characters. So with the help of the big red button, he gives the characters new voices. Pomni is now voiced by Saturn Loves to Animate. Ragatha is voiced by Just the Ragdoll. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. And Zubul is voiced by, let's see, Purple Boba Kid here, 8866. Bubble is voiced by Duncan TPI. And I think Gangle is voiced by Tails and Friends. I'm sorry if I absolutely fucked up the names. And I'm also sorry that Tails and Friends were not credited in the description. Once the characters' voices were changed, Kane also realizes that they look ugly as shit, so they get the Sonic redesign treatment. And good lord, these look great. I mean, he could have just got one of these, but this is the next best thing. So Kinger is the leader of today's adventure, and let's hope this just goes well. It doesn't. We then meet the main villain of the episode. We then get the main villain of the episode, I think, Father Sage, who for some reason looks like stole this off of Helva Boss. I mean, given the title for episode 6, I wouldn't be surprised if the show took some inspirations from Helva Boss. And thanks to a little push from Jax, Kane made this adventure Purge themed. So of course there's going to be a lot of Purge references. Oh, in case you haven't been following the show, at one point Jax and Zubul break up, so with a little help from and a short comforting scene, Jax feels slightly better about himself. As he probably shouldn't be. Unfortunately, Jax can't have the courage to say sorry. At least not yet. So they're all invited to a 5-star feast. Maybe if I'm lucky, they might have some roast beast. I also love how Pomni's hat was on that rack. We also get some inner characters with the other characters. Like this character who calls herself Delilah. Spoiler alert, that is not her name.
Sorry, it's my fucking job, piece of shit.
I don't know who pissed in this bitch's. I don't know who pissed in her cereal this morning, but apparently she has an attitude problem. That's why you look like Catnap off of, what's it called? Puppy Playtime. Yes, I don't play any video games. Shut up. So after the feast, the Purge begins. You might notice that I'm skipping over things because, if you couldn't tell, this episode is really fucking long. We then realize that Jax has a softer side because he's written here to be more likable than he is in the actual show. At least that's what I believe. Saving Gangle as well as his former fuck buddy Zubul. So hearing that Ragatha's in trouble, Pomni swoops in like she's Indiana Jones in this bitch and swoops her to safety. God, I love this music. I'm sorry that you can't hear the actual scenes that are being played. I wish I could. But if you want to watch this episode, then you have to see for yourself. And in fact, if you do not want to be spoiled, then why are you even watching this video in the first? So the Purge is on a brief halt, I think. I'm sorry, I just couldn't keep up with this episode. It's really long. And they chat with Father Sage until he gets shot. And then we get one of the funniest lines in the entire episode.
It appears I've been shot. Oh dear.
We then meet the real main villain of the episode, Gooby, and the best character in the show, Wooble, who for some reason Gooby loves to put down even though she's the most adorable thing ever, and I want to keep her as a roommate because she seems like such a good friend. Why do you put her down like? So after planning, they decide to come up with a musical number on the spot.
Diarrhea's coming back. My friends are all under attack. It's not so great, I must agree. Will someone please come save us, please? This adventure was kind of fun, but now it's turning out quite dumb.
I really hope we do not die, because then they'll make me really cry.
I wish we weren't stuck inside a room that's with a monkey with a gun.
Get quiet. Nobody make a sound.
But why are you doing this?
Okay, I think you've seen enough. Okay, I gotta say, the animation is very good and very ambitious, and I applaud everyone who worked on this, and I also applaud the music. You know, some of the music in this episode, at least from what I've heard in the episode, is very much made by someone else. It was not stock music made by Gooseworks for the Amazing Digital Circus, but it's actual real music made for this episode and this episode only. Alright, now the only thing I find distracting is the fact that some characters are clearly sung by Noah as if it's just, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about it too much because there's something I really want to talk about later in the video, but stay tuned for that. So after the 20-minute song, they said that they'll let them go only if Jack sings No Girl's Toy from Raggedy Ann and Andy.
Fucking kill me. Well, you can push me, shove me, turn me around, but I'm no girl's toy. You can tie me, toss me upside or down, but I'm no girl's toy.
Okay, I feel so bad for Jax. Imagine having to sing this song in public. Everyone would look at you like a fucking fool. So what do you think of this, Barney? Oh, I think he looks fucking stupid. Okay, singing a kid's song in a clearly adult production, that's like making a Sesame Street related project while putting a Tenacious D song in the end credits.
Sesame Street is a production of the Children's Television Workshop. No!
You see, it doesn't make sense, but it's very much funny.
A long-ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo.
You know, I'm done. I'm just gonna die.
Me trying to think of something to say while making a review on something that's very strange. Oh my god, that was awful. So the town blows up. Luckily, Bubble is here to save the day in his fucking helicopter. They all grab on, but Jax decides to climb up so that everybody can get in. Unfortunately, Jax climbs up so hard this causes Fat Jax to fall. And for the sake of keeping balance, Fat Jax decides to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Let me go.
Now, me personally, I like Fat Jax. I like Fat Jax. He's a very likable character. From what I've seen, his character is the opposite of Jax. He's kind, compassionate, and he'll do anything for his friends, whereas to Jax, well, 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 he committed fucking arson. Regretfully, Fat Jax is being let go by Kinger, but he dies a hero. Kane's eye falls out, seeing the destruction of the circus. Jax is in pain along with the rest of the characters, but then, out of nowhere, Kinger punches the shit out of him, grabs him by the neck, choking him, and blames him for the death of his friend.
You had to fucking do it! Me? What the fuck did I do? It was an accident! Bullshit! The only accident here is you! You're the fucking accident!
See, now me personally, I felt that. Okay, and I'm not sure if I wanted to... I'm not sure if I'm being a very good reviewer when it comes to these things, but listen to this.
I'm just fucking with you. No. You guys aren't gonna die. And look, if you do, I'll just bring you guys back to life. Unless there are no pieces left of you. Then I can't technically bring you back to life. I technically need like a piece of you so I can basically revive your like physical form. Because technically if there's nothing left over, then I can't bring you back.
Now look at this. What's this? A hand. This is Fat Jax's hand. And a hand is a physical form. So technically, this means that Kane could bring him back. Okay, so let's recap everything. So Kinger strangled Jax and blamed him for the death of his best friend, saying that this was all his fault. Jax says that he didn't mean to step him off, and it was an accident. But Kinger doesn't believe him. In fact, he even says that he even comes to the conclusion that he did it on purpose. And what's even more, okay, the ending does not make me mad. It just kind of, it confuses me. Because, okay, imagine this. In a game, the rule says if there's no physical form of you die in a game. If there's no physical form of you left, then you can't be revived. And then at one round you just die if there's a physical form of you left and you're still not revived. It's just okay. But I've seen a lot of comments questioning the same thing, and Noah said maybe Kane didn't want to. Now, this can mean a lot of things. And Kane says that there's nothing he can do. Now, hopefully this means nothing. Now, hopefully this does not mean... Hopefully he's not referring to avenging. Hopefully this does not mean reviving Fat Jax. No, nothing he can do about reviving Fat Jax. Because the more likely option would be that there's nothing he can do about Jax. But then again, why didn't he revive him? Maybe he just wanted to watch the drama. Maybe he's just lazy. Or maybe he's just plain evil. Who knows? Now look, I don't want to make it sound like I'm making fun of Fat Jax's death. I'm not. He died as a hero. But there's just so many things that make me feel weird. There's just so many things that confuse me at the end. That's why I'm talking about this. I'm sorry if you find it annoying, but that's just what I do. But this semi-contradiction does give me a good idea for what might happen in episode 5. Now, Noah, if you're watching this video, which I'm kind of afraid that you are, then feel free to click off this video if something is true. But if you don't want to click off, then I recommend that you skip to whatever time of the video you feel comfortable with. But for those who aren't Noah, then stay seated and listen to what I think might happen in episode 4. I mean, episode 5. So the episode starts. I think the episode might start similarly to episode 4 of to episode 2 of Digital Circus. And then, except Jax is in Pomni's place, and then a part of him gets abstracted, and then all these shadow silhouettes of his friends taunt him for everything he's done, including the Fat Jax allegations. So Jax wakes up angrier than usual, and then he just angrily gets dressed and shit. And then he's met with a bunch of awkward looks on his face. Some were of anger, especially by Kinger. Some were made of concern, while others were made with disapproval. And then Kane announces today's adventure: an honest hard day's work at Starbowl's restaurant chain. So it's debatable whether Kane would be aware of why the adventure would be suggested, but I think it would be pretty obvious that Kinger would be the one to come up with that adventure, for this is revenge of Jax causing Fat Jax's death. So Kane hypes this up pretty terrible, as you would expect. I'd expect it to go something like this. Today's adventure is an honest hard day's work at Starbowl's restaurant chain. That's right. You're gonna have a horrible time. You're gonna be dealing with obnoxious Karens, drug addicts, and you're gonna have to be forced to make shitty food, or otherwise your horrible, evil bosses will give you the belt. Have fun. Something like that. Honestly, this might be the worst review I've ever done. That's it. I'm putting that in the title. The worst review I've ever done. So Jax gets pushed through the portal, and now he works at Starbowl's, being the main character, and Gangle is his manager. Whether it'll be the actual Gangle or an NPC Gangle is kind of debatable, but for the sake of making this make sense, I'm gonna say this is an NPC copy of Gangle. Anyway, Orson would also be a manager, with Gangle being his assistant, and together they would give Jax payback for everything that he's done to them. And a lot of weird characters will come in here. I'm talking the Glowing Queen, a Karen, some random guy who will probably just say, "Just put the fucking fries in the bag, bro, how hard it?" Chris Pratt will show up at one point. After a while, towards the end of the episode, Jax finally has enough and crashes out, because he's a real angsty person. And then Jax might finally apologize to his peers for how he's been. And even Kinger for causing the death of his friend. Whether they will or will not forgive him is kind of, debatable. But, it's whatever. So anyways, that was the review. I gotta stop laughing. So yeah, that was episode 4. So far, this is probably the best out of all of these. It was funny, it was emotional, it was well voice acted, it had wonderful visuals. The villains of the episodes stole the show. Also, justice for Wooble. It was just a great time. A great, great, great time. Well, everyone, that was the review. If you liked it, then make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I'd very much appreciate it. And don't forget to comment down below what you want to see next. Thanks for watching. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go to Starbowl's.